Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be exploring neuroscience of leadership based on the work of David Rock and Jeffrey Schwarz. Neuroscience of leadership is about understanding how the brain influences the way we think, decide, and behave as leaders. Instead of relying only on experience or intuition, this approach uses scientific understanding of the brain to explain human behavior in the workplace. Neuroscience gives us insight into how people process information, how they react under pressure, and how they build trust with others. For example, it explains why people feel uncomfortable with change, why they need clarity to feel secure, and how positive interactions can increase motivation. The brain plays a central role in leadership because every decision, reaction, and interaction is processed through it. Modern leadership is not just about what people do, it's about understanding why they do it. The brain naturally seeks safety, avoids uncertainty, and tries to minimize effort. This is why employees may resist change, feel stressed in unclear situations, or lose motivation when they don't feel valued. By understanding these patterns, leaders can create environments that support clarity, reduce stress, and increase engagement. To understand these behaviors more deeply, let's first break down how the brain functions in leadership. There are three key parts of the brain that influence leadership behavior. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for logical thinking, planning, problem solving, and decision making. The limbic system handles emotions and social connections. It affects how we feel and how we relate to others. The amygdala acts as the brain's alarm system. It constantly scans for threats and triggers fear or stress responses. The challenge is that when the amygdala is activated, it can override the thinking brain, leading to impulsive or emotional reactions. Great leaders learn to manage this balance so they can stay calm and think clearly under pressure. For example, in a high-pressure situation, if someone feels criticized or uncertain, their amygdala may trigger a threat response. This reduces their ability to think logically and increases defensive behavior. But when leaders create a sense of safety and clarity, the thinking brain stays active, allowing better decision-making and collaboration. This slide brings together the overall structure of how different parts of the brain interact in leadership. Leadership is not just about intelligence. It's about managing thoughts, emotions, and reactions together. Understanding this helps leaders become more aware of their own behavior and the behavior of others. The basal ganglia plays a key role in habit formation. Every repeated action strengthens a neural pathway in the brain. Over time, these actions become automatic, which reduces the mental effort required to perform them. For leaders, this means that consistent behaviors, like communication style or team routines, can become deeply embedded habits. This also explains why changing habits is difficult. New behaviors require more mental energy, so the brain resists them. That's why effective change happens gradually, through small, repeated actions that slowly build new pathways. Neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to change and adapt. It means that the brain is not fixed. It can rewire itself through learning and experience. Every time we practice a new skill or adopt a new behavior, we strengthen new neural connections. This is why leadership development is possible. No one is born a perfect leader. Through consistent learning, reflection, and practice, anyone can improve their leadership abilities. Decision-making is heavily influenced by stress and cognitive biases. When stress levels rise, the prefrontal cortex becomes less effective. At the same time, the brain uses shortcuts, called biases, to save energy. These shortcuts can lead to errors in judgment and poor decisions. To improve decision-making, leaders need to slow down and think deliberately. They should seek multiple perspectives, question assumptions, and create an environment where people feel safe to share ideas. Managing emotions is a critical leadership skill. Leaders must learn to regulate their reactions, focus their attention, and reframe difficult situations. Trust and empathy also play a key role. They activate positive responses in the brain and improve team cooperation. At the same time, building new habits requires energy, which is why resistance to change is normal. A brain-friendly workplace is one that reduces stress and supports mental clarity. High levels of stress increase cortisol, which negatively affects memory, creativity, and decision-making. Leaders must create environments where people feel safe, certain, and included. When people feel secure, they are more engaged, creative, and productive. Now let's explore a powerful model that explains how social experiences shape behavior in the brain. The SCARF model is a brain-based framework that explains how social situations trigger either a threat or a reward response. It is widely used by leaders, coaches, and organizations to better understand human behavior. Humans have a fundamental need to belong. Interestingly, the brain processes social pain, like rejection or exclusion, in the same way as physical pain. This means that negative social experiences can strongly impact performance and behavior. On the other hand, positive social interactions increase motivation, trust, and collaboration. The SCARF model includes 5 key domains: status, your importance relative to others; certainty, clarity about the future; autonomy, control over decisions; relatedness, sense of belonging; fairness, equal and honest treatment. The brain constantly evaluates these factors to determine whether a situation feels safe or threatening. When these needs are fulfilled, people feel motivated, engaged, and confident. But when they are threatened, people become defensive, stressed, and less productive. The SCARF model can be used before, during, and after interactions. It helps predict reactions, manage emotions in the moment, and reflect on situations afterward. Even labeling a feeling can reduce its intensity in the brain. Different people are motivated by different SCARF factors. For example, some people prioritize certainty, while others value relationships or autonomy more. Leaders must understand these differences instead of assuming everyone is motivated the same way. Organizations also develop their own SCARF profiles. Some environments encourage independence, while others focus on structure and predictability. Effective leaders balance these needs to reduce stress and build a strong culture. The brain plays a central role in leadership. When leaders understand how people think, feel, and react, they can lead more effectively. By applying neuroscience principles and using models like SCARF, leaders can improve communication, build trust, and create high-performing teams. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video.